host, Bubbles, and I am over the moon to have you embark on this journey with me. As we cozy up and delve into the dark corners of true crime and cults, I invite you, my culty crime crew, to join me in unravelling the mysteries that lie within. Today, we cast our gaze upon Nxivm, an organisation cloaked in the guise of self-improvement, but mired in controversy and criminality. At first glance, Nxivm shone as a beacon of transformation, offering executive success programs that beckon the eager and the hopeful. Yet, beneath the glossy exterior, a disturbing truth was being orchestrated by the group's enigmatic leader, Keith Raniere. Born on a summer's day in 1960 in the heart of Brooklyn, Keith Raniere was a man of many shades. Lauded as a visionary by some and branded a manipulator by others, his intellectual brilliance and charismatic allure were the cornerstone of Nxivm's appeal, drawing in thousands since its conception in 1998, stars and socialites alike, all in pursuit of a transformative journey. The HBO documentary series The Vow, Part 1 and 2, peeled back the many layers, offering a harrowing peek into the lives of those caught in Raniere's web, juxtaposing their first-hand accounts against the group's harrowing practices. Known to his followers as Vanguard, Raniere cultivated a realm of secrecy and control. His spiral into criminality, marked by sex trafficking, racketeering, and many other heinous acts, reached its height with his conviction on June 19, 2019. After a trial that held the nation's gaze, the unanimous verdict sealed his fate as a notorious cult leader. So stay snug, my culty crime crew, as we continue to dissect the ascent and the descent of Nxivm and the man who steered its infamous course, Keith Raniere. In the shadow of empowerment's promise, there was a man whose past was as complex as the empire he would build. Keith Raniere. Born on August 26, 1960, in Brooklyn, New York, he was a child of contrasts. His early life was marked by his parents, James and Vera, their eventual separation, and his mother's struggle with health issues and alcohol shaped his approach to relationships and his leadership style. These formative years were a crucible, forging a man who would later claim a host of accolades: a judo champion at age 11, a concert-level pianist, and, by his telling, one of the world's smartest men. Yet many of these claims would be disputed, casting a shadow of doubt over the man who would become, quote, Vanguard of Nxivm. Now, Raniere's first venture into the business world, Consumers Byline Incorporated, promised a revolution in consumer savings, but fell to the scrutiny of the law, an omen of controversies to come. CBI, a multi-level marketing company, operated as a buying club, drawing in members with the allure of discounts and the promise of profits for those who could recruit others. At its height, CBI employed over 150 people and seemed to embody the success Raniere had long craved for. But it was this very model of recruitment and rewards that led to its downfall, as authorities deemed it a pyramid scheme, leading it to its closure and definitely foreshadowing the future of Nxivm. From the ashes of CBI, Nxivm rose in 1998. Co-founder with Nancy Salzman, it was a place where not only the rich and famous, but individuals from all walks of life saw transformation. Yet, beneath its surface, the organisation faced allegations of being more than just a self-help group. It was seen by some as a cult. The Executive Success Programs, the heart of Nxivm's offerings, promised to break down barriers to personal growth. But it was the explorations of meaning sessions that offered the deepest dive, one-on-one encounters with someone designed to reveal and supposedly heal the innermost emotional wounds. Both Jeunesse and the Society of Protectors, or SOP, were subgroups within Nxivm, promising a journey of empowerment within the complex tapestry of gender dynamics. Jeunesse, launched in 2006, was a program for women only that explored what it meant to be female in today's society. While on the other hand, there was the Society of Protectors, for men only, founded in 2011. It aimed to build character in men, turning them from little boys into men. Now that is a quote off their website. And they did this through challenges and things called readiness drills. These programs, with their focus on gender roles and dynamics, laid the groundwork for the secret society which emerged within Nxivm as a far more extreme iteration of these concepts. The Vow, the HBO documentary series, exposed the inner workings of Nxivm, contrasting its vision of empowerment with the reality of its practices. The first season covered the experiences of former members, revealing the emotional toll and manipulative practices within Nxivm. At the heart of the controversy lay DOS, the secret society within Nxivm, comprised of women who were manipulated into slave-master relationships, all ultimately orchestrated by Raniere. The revelation of DOS, with its horrific rituals, coercion and subjugation, became central to the legal battles that led to the downfall of Raniere and his entire empire. So, my culty crime crew, as we continue to stitch together this intricate story, we can start to see the true extent of Nxivm's reach and Keith Raniere's shadow, who cast the longest shadow of all. Now, as we weave through this intricate web that is Nxivm, we encounter figures pivotal to its operation, each bringing their own unique influence to the fabric of this complex group. There was Nancy Salzman, known within the ranks as Prefect, and she was the co-founder of Nxivm with Keith Raniere. A trained nurse and hypnotist, it was her experience in neuro-linguistic programming that was instrumental in crafting the very essence of Nxivm's methodology. With a hypnotic touch, she shaped the curriculum that would become the foundation of Nxivm's programs, influencing countless members with her suggestive techniques. Now, Alison Mack, once a star of the small screen, literally she was in Smallville, ascended to the upper echelons of Nxivm, becoming a key figure in the creation of DOS. Her role was not limited to recruitment either. She was integral in the group's most grievous acts, wielding her own influence with a zeal that matched Raniere's own. We will also meet Lauren Salzman, A long-term secret girlfriend of Raniere, she played a complicated role within Nxivm and within DOS. She was the co-leader's daughter, and her journey with Raniere began when she was only just 21. Over the years, their secret relationship deepened as she rose throughout the ranks, with Lauren's unwavering dedication to Raniere's vision seeing her recruit and mentor many within the group. Her influence very closely echoing her mother's hypnotic legacy. The Brofman sisters, Sarah and Claire, heirs to the vast Nxivm alcohol fortune, were the financial bedrock upon which Nxivm stood. Their financial support sustained the organisation's ambitions, supporting its programs and its legal endeavours, which were many. While Claire's commitment to Nxivm was in your face and unshakable, Sarah's involvement, though not as upfront, was no less significant to the group's growth. Emilio Salinas, son of the former Mexican president, lent a veneer of international legitimacy to Nxivm. As a member of the executive board and leader of its Mexican chapter, his role brought a global dimension to the group's organisation. A global dimension to the organisation's reach. These individuals, bound by their roles within Nxivm, fostered an environment that blurred the lines between self-improvement and subjugation, leaving an indelible mark on those who crossed the threshold of their domain. And as we delve even deeper into the world of Nxivm, we uncover a curriculum that, while masquerading as a path to self-improvement, was, in truth, a labyrinth of psychological control. At the core of this curriculum was Keith Raniere's rational inquiry method. Touted as a scientific approach to personal development, it was a series of questions and observations designed to lead participants to what Raniere claimed were profound insights into ethics, personal essence, and a greater awareness. But it wasn't Raniere alone who crafted this intricate web. Nancy Salzman, known as Prefect, co-founded Nxivm and brought her expertise and experience in neuro-linguistic programming to the forefront of the curriculum's design. Now, NLP is a controversial approach to communication and personal development. It involves the use of language patterns and suggestive techniques to influence a person's thinking and their behaviour. Salzman's mastery of these techniques was amazing, and she wove that right into the fabric of Nxivm's programs, embedding subtle controls within the curriculum that manipulated members' perceptions and their actions. Rational inquiry was the matrix of Nxivm's teachings, a patent pending, like it's literally in the US Patent Office, a patent pending technology that Raniere claimed could align an individual's beliefs and behaviours with success and joy. Yet, beneath this promise lay a more insidious reality. The method's modules and practices were used to align members' thoughts with the group's ideas, often leading to what was termed a disintegration of conflicting beliefs. The curriculum unfolded through a series of modules, each building upon the last, seemingly leading members to a greater self-awareness and empowerment. In practice, however, these modules often serve to erode participants' sense of self, replacing it with the group's ideals. The practices within these modules pushed individuals to their psychological limits through intense emotional experiences and confessions. The curriculum's darker teachings mirrored Raniere's personal beliefs, advocating for men to have multiple sexual partners, while expecting women to remain monogamous. This double standard was a manipulation of members' thoughts and actions, just a small reflection of the control Nxivm and Keith Raniere sought to exert. Participants were more often than not chosen for their vulnerabilities, which the curriculum could then exploit. The group's practices included grooming members for specific roles, whether for recruitment, financial contributions, or even the worst, sexual relationships with Raniere. Nxivm's curriculum really wasn't merely a series of workshops. It was a comprehensive system of indoctrination and control, designed to weave members into the very fabric of the organisation. Now, as we continue to navigate this intricate maze that is Nxivm, we arrive at a pivotal moment in the group's history. The exposure and legal battles that would lead to its unravelling. The role of investigative journalism in shining a light on Nxivm's dark corners was monumental. A groundbreaking New York Times article featured the brave testimony of Sarah Edmondson, who revealed the brand. You heard me right. The brand she received as part of a secret society within Nxivm known as DOS, or Dominus Obsequious Sororium, I think. The revelation sent shockwaves through the community and beyond, marking a turning point in the public's awareness of the group. In the first season of The Vow, it provided a gripping look into the experiences of people deeply involved in Nxivm and them leaving the group. The series followed former members as they grappled with the emotional toll of the group's practices and the role they all played in recruiting new members. It featured interviews with key figures such as Sarah Edmondson, South African filmmaker Mark Vicente and Bonnie Pierce, and Catherine Oxenberg, who was on a mission to rescue her daughter India from the group's clutches. Sarah Edmondson's involvement in the show was particularly impactful as she, alongside her husband Anthony Nippy Ames, shared their journey from being high-ranking members to becoming whistleblowers. Their story is a testament to the personal cost of leaving Nxivm and the process of recovery and moving on with their lives. Mark Vicente, like I said, a South African filmmaker, and at the time the highest ranking male member to ever defect from the group, provided a wealth of behind the scenes footage of Nxivm, offering an unprecedented look into the group's inner workings. His testimony against Keith Raniere during the trial was a moving moment in the legal proceedings against Nxivm. Catherine Oxenberg's relentless pursuit of justice and her deep dives into the history of predatory behaviour in cults were documented in real time, capturing her unwavering drive to free her daughter India from Nxivm and Keith Raniere's grasp. The impact of The Vow cannot be understated in any way. This series played a significant role in documenting the legal drama surrounding Nxivm, providing viewers a unique perspective on the case. It served as a powerful testament to the courage of those who came forward and the importance of transparency in bringing about legal action against such groups. Join me, my culty crime crew, as we continue to dissect the complex saga of Nxivm, a tale of courage, justice, and the enduring power of truth. Now, in the heart of the HBO series, we are introduced to DOS, the secret cult within a cult, It operated with practices that were as secretive as they were alarming. Founded in 2015 by Keith Raniere and run by a group of women who were all in secret relationships with him. DOS stood for Dominus Obsequious Sororium, which roughly translates from Latin to... it still makes me sick when I say it. It roughly translates from Latin to Master over the Slave Women. This group was the dark heart of Nxivm, where women were subjected to a hierarchy of masters and slaves, a chilling echo of the story shared by the very, 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 very brave souls who stepped forward in the documentary series. The women recruited into DOS were told they were joining a sisterhood that would empower them. Instead, they were coerced into providing collateral, often in the form of compromising personal information or explicit photographs to ensure their obedience. This collateral was like a sword hanging over their heads, a constant threat used to maintain control over them. Once indoctrinated, the slaves were branded, yes, I said branded, with Keith Raniere's initials, which was first explained to them as just a tattoo. That's all it was going to be. It ended up being a painful procedure done without anaesthesia, and I'll be honest with you, it was done by a doctor, and they were all led to believe it was also a symbol of the elements, not Raniere's initials. Not only was there the pain of going through a branding ceremony, they were also subjected to strict diets and exercises to achieve a physique that Raniere found appealing, often leading to severe weight loss and severe health issues. And in the world of Nxivm's DOS, penances were a grim reality for those who failed to meet the stringent expectations set before them. These penances, often demeaning and punitive, served as a constant reminder of the hierarchy and control at play. Women who did not fulfill their assigned tasks or who disobeyed orders were subjected to various forms of penance designed to reinforce submission and obedience. Physical acts like fasting for so many hours a day or standing for hours in the cold, to the psychological toll of writing out confessions or self-criticisms. These penances were not just punishments, but tool obsequious sororium, which roughly translates from... In the world of Nxivm's DOS, penances were a grim reality for those who failed to meet the stringent expectations set before them. These penances, often demeaning and punitive, served as a constant reminder of the hierarchy and control at play. Women who did not fulfill their assigned tasks or who disobeyed orders were subjected to various forms of penance, designed to reinforce submission and obedience. From physical acts like fasting or standing for hours in the cold, to the psychological toll of writing out confessions or self-criticisms, these penances were not just punishments, but tools to erode will and reinforce the group's dominion. It was a cycle of control, where the fear of penance kept the members in line and the act of penance further bound them to the group's insidious dynamics. The very fabric of DOS was woven with these threads of coercion, creating a tapestry of manipulation that was as intricate as it was oppressive. Now, the readiness drills were another aspect of DOS's control that came directly from the Society of Protectors, or SOP. Members were expected to be on call 24/7, responding to their master's messages within minutes, regardless of the time of day or their personal circumstances. This constant state of alertness kept the members exhausted and compliant. The manipulation ran deep, with practices designed to erode members' sense of self. They were subjugated to something called disintegrations, a process meant to break them down and their identities, and rebuild them in the image of the group's ideas. The ultimate goal was to create unwavering loyalty to Keith Raniere and the twisted ethos of DOS and Nxivm. Now, as the veil was lifted by an FBI investigation, spurred on by the New York Times article featuring Sarah Edmondson, and information collected and brought forward by Catherine Oxenberg, the arrest of Keith Raniere in Mexico marked the beginning of the end for Nxivm's reign of manipulation. The trial that followed would lay bare the extent of his control over the women closest to him, a control that extended deeply into their lives. The courtroom became a stage where the prosecution painted a picture of a cult-like organisation. I'm sorry, but there was nothing cult-like about this organisation. It was a cult. Where women were not only exploited and manipulated, but even branded as part of the secret society within Nxivm known as DOS. The testimonies of Daniela and Lauren Salzman provided a window into the disturbing practices and psychological control exerted by Raniere and his inner circle, revealing a pattern of abuse that shook the core of all who listened. I will also remind you that Lauren Salzman was actually one of the inner circle, so don't feel too bad for her. Centered around Raniere, the trial saw several high-ranking members face a slew of charges. Along with Nxivm founder Keith Raniere, there was co-founder Nancy Salzman, her daughter Lauren, like I said, Smallville actress Alison Mack, one of the Seagram heiresses Claire Brofman, and Nxivm's bookkeeper Kathy Russell. They were all indicted on various charges, including sex trafficking, forced labour conspiracy, and racketeering. Racketeering's what they go get the mafia for in New York. As we delve deeper into the trial of Keith Raniere, we cannot overlook the chilling details that emerged, painting a stark portrait of a man whose influence knew no bounds, and a cult that operated under the guise of self-improvement while harbouring some pretty dark secrets within. Lauren Salzman, once a senior member of Nxivm, took to the stand to reveal her deep involvement with the organisation and Raniere. Her testimony was surprising and emotional as she recounted her role in the confinement of Daniela. She expressed remorse for her actions, including her request to Raniere at a branding ceremony. Quote, "Master, please brand me. It would be an honour I want to wear for the rest of my life." End quote. She also admitted to the harbouring of the young woman known as Daniela, under threats of deportation if she did not comply with their demands. Daniela's testimony revealed a disturbing saga of control, where not only she but her whole family was subjugated to Raniere's manipulations. Daniela spoke of being confined to a room for nearly 2 years. 2 years. A punishment for a, quote, ethical breach as deemed by Keith Raniere. This is a quote from her testimony. "There would be days where I would just sit against the wall," she recounted. A stark illustration of the psychological captivity she endured. But perhaps even more harrowing was the story of Daniela's sister, Camilla. who was sexually exploited by Raniere starting at the tender age of only 15. Her youth and innocence became tools in Raniere's arsenal of control, as he isolated her away from her family and coerced her into a relationship that would last for many, many years. Now, the trial culminated in a guilty verdict on all counts for Raniere, including racketeering, sex trafficking, and possession of child pornography. He held explicit photos of Camilla when she was underage. The jury's decision came swiftly, underscoring the overwhelming amount of evidence there was against him. At the sentencing, the court heard the powerful impact statement from Camilla herself, who detailed the abuse she suffered from the age of 15 at the hands of Raniere. He, quote, "He used my innocence to do whatever he wanted with me, not just sexually, but psychologically," end quote. That led to the judge's decision to sentence Raniere to 120 years. Yes, you heard me right, 120 years in prison, a sentence reflecting the gravity of his crimes. As we close this chapter on Nxivm and Raniere, we are reminded of the courage it takes to stand up to such profound injustice. The testimonies and impact statements of the victims have not only ensured that justice was served, but has also shed light on the darkest corners of manipulation and control. In the aftermath of Nxivm's dissolution, the stories of recovery and resilience from former members are as varied as they are inspiring. Sarah Edmondson, once a high-ranking member, has emerged as a prominent voice against the organisation. Her book, Scarred, The True Story of How I Escaped Nxivm, The Cult That Bound My Life, offers a candid look at her experiences and her journey towards healing. Today she stands as an advocate for cult awareness, with her and her husband, Nippy, hosting the fantastic podcast A Little Bit Culty. You can find it on Spotify, and it offers support to those who have faced similar trials. Mark Vicente, a filmmaker deeply involved within Nxivm and was the highest ranking male member to ever leave the group, played a significant role in its exposure. Since leaving the group, he has dedicated himself to rebuilding his life and career, using his platform to educate the public about the dangers of coercive organisations. Bonnie Pierce, I so hope I say your name right. I've said that last name right. Mark Vicente's wife was the catalyst for change as one of the very first women to leave Nxivm. Her departure encouraged many others to follow suit. She continues to support those affected by the group's practices and finds new ways to express herself through acting and music. She was recently in the Obi-Wan series on Disney+. They are now splitting their time between Los Angeles and the lovely city of Lisbon in Portugal. Despite Nxivm's shutdown and Raniere's conviction, a small but vocal group of supporters, including one Mark Elliott, a former member who credits Nxivm and Raniere to helping him manage Tourette syndrome, continues to advocate for him. Elliott suggests the trial was unfair and maintains that Nxivm's methods were beneficial. The reflections from former members like Edmondson and Mark Vicente highlight the importance of awareness and the potential for recovery. While some have turned their experiences into activism and education, some have chosen to focus on personal growth and recover away from the public eye, which is all their right to do. The journey of Nxivm's former members underscores the resilience of the human spirit and the capacity for transformation. Their stories serve both as a cautionary tale and a beacon of hope for those seeking to rebuild their lives after similar experiences. And as we bear witness to these tales of courage and renewal, we are reminded of the enduring power of the human spirit to overcome anything, even in the darkest of times. Stay with us, my culty crime crew, as we continue to explore the paths of those who have walked through the fire and emerged stronger. Now, as we come to the close of this saga, where's Keith Raniere now? The convicted leader of Nxivm, once known as Vanguard by his followers, is currently serving his 120-year sentence at the United States Penitentiary in Tucson, Arizona. This facility is notably the sole federal prison designed for sex offenders at a maximum security level, and his time in prison has been marked by challenges, including recently an incident where he was assaulted by a fellow inmate. Go fellow inmate! Raniere's legal battles continue as he and his legal team have alleged FBI tampering with photographic evidence used in his trial. His attorneys have filed a motion to hold the appeal, claiming a, quote, pattern of retaliation, end quote, against Raniere for exercising his constitutional rights to challenge his conviction. That's a tongue tie. This appeal has attracted the support of a whole new legal team and experts who have raised concerns about key evidence presented at his 2019 trial. Despite these efforts, however, Raniere's appeal was denied by the Federal Appeals Court in New York, affirming that his conviction on the charges, including sex trafficking, the sexual exploitation of a child, and forced labour conspiracy. The court's decision underscores the strength of evidence against him and the due process afforded during his trial. As Raniere contends with the realities of his incarceration and the outcomes of his appeals, the stories of Nxivm's former members and their journeys of recovery continue to unfold, reminding the enduring power of truth and of justice. As we reflect on this case, it's a stark reminder of the importance of vigilance. It's a call to remain aware and very critical of organisations that promise personal transformation, even more so when they demand significant personal commitment, and again, even more so if it's a financial investment. The courage of those who have come forward to share their experiences with Nxivm have been nothing short but inspirational, highlighting the impact of a collective action in bringing about justice. There is also the role of media and documentaries like The Vow that's been so instrumental in covering the truth, in uncovering the truth about Nxivm. These platforms have given survivors a voice, allowing them to tell their stories and educate the public about the realities of coercive control and manipulation. The media's coverage of the trial and the documentary series have played such a crucial role in bringing all these issues to light. Now, my lovelies, and even more so if it's a financial investment, the courage of those who have come forward to share their experiences with Nxivm have been nothing short but inspirational, highlighting the impact of a collective action in bringing about justice. There is also the role of media and documentaries like The Vow that's been so instrumental in covering the truth, in uncovering the truth about Nxivm. These platforms have given survivors a voice, allowing them to tell their stories and educate the public about the realities of coercive control and manipulation. The media's coverage of the trial and the documentary series have played such a crucial role in bringing all these issues to light. Now, my lovelies, as we prepare to part ways, I want to extend a heartfelt thank you to you all for listening to my very first episode, and another very heartfelt invitation to you guys, my culty crime crew. If there is any crime or cult story that you're curious about, that you feel needs to be told, I invite you guys to email me. Please email me at cozy.cults.crime@gmail.com. That's cozy.cults.crimes@gmail.com. Your interests and insights help shape these episodes, and together I hope we can continue to uncover the mysteries that lie hidden in the shadows. And also, if today's episode has touched you, if it stirred something within, please take a moment for yourself. Practice self-care, reach out to a friend, or simply enjoy a warm cup of tea while wrapped in your dressing gown. I'm quite literally recording this while I'm sitting here in my hoodie. Please look after yourselves, because it's in looking after ourselves that we find the strength to face the complexities of life. And until next time, please keep that flame of curiosity burning, but never forget the warmth of the fires that keep us all connected together. Be well, stay cozy, and remember, in the pursuit of truth, we hope to always find the light. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Bubbles, and I look forward to our next encounter in the world of cozy, cults, and crimes. I'll see you soon. Bye.